Hello and welcome to the Improv Breakfast. Yes, this is a little compact, truncated example of what we've been talking about this breakfast, where every Tuesday we discuss what our subject matter is from the previous week's newsletter. Oh, what have we got this week?
Well, it's the golden rules of public speaking. So we went through in the breakfast this morning a few examples of some golden rules of public speaking, because we all know public speaking is quite a scary thing to do for many people.
Oh, yes, indeed. Absolutely. Jerry Seinfeld says that people fear death more than they fear public speaking, and that if they have to give a eulogy, they'd rather be in a casket. Actually, there's a 2023 Chapman University survey where 40% of adults rank public speaking among their biggest fears, second only to heights. So yes, it really is a huge thing. So we thought, well, look, this is what we do. We help people get over that fear. We help them to find their inner confidence, and we give them tons of tips and tricks on how to improve their public speaking skills.
So where's a good place to start, Vic? Where would be a good place to start?
What we like to do, what I really like to coach people in, is to look internally, first of all, to know your inner gremlins, to be self-aware. There's a lovely quotation by Alice Walker who says, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any.
I haven't got any.
You have, Paul, you have. Don't listen to your inner critic. Don't do it. Imposter syndrome is a waste of your time. So I guess one golden rule in that case is to get curious. Stop being critical of yourself or the situation or the circumstances, and start to get curious. And how can you be more present and try and get away from perfection? And so what that means is that we encourage people to get under the skin of their talk in a way that feels more playful and more inquiring. So maybe, for example, one tip might be that you say aloud when you're about to rehearse it. You say aloud a word or a sentence that says how you feel. For instance, I feel really nervous right now. So maybe say that.
I feel really nervous right now.
Okay, so now I encourage you to say it in a really exaggerated way, fully acting. Go.
Oh, I feel really, really nervous right now. I feel really nervous right now. Nervous.
Perfect. And now put in some physical gestures as well.
Oh, I feel so nervous. Nervous. So nervous.
Awesome. And then, of course, you've been true to yourself. You have put some movement into your body, which is really important to be able to shake out adrenaline and shake out cortisol. And then, of course, if you've said something negative like that, then counteract it with something positive. Yeah. So maybe I feel very confident right now. And you can play with that as well. That's a nice way to get past that freeze feeling of feeling critical of it.
Now, I am a robot, and I find that robots are the best kind of presenters in the world. Ever seen someone present like a robot?
I definitely have. And they just get lost in themselves. They shut down and they're just information, right?
And some, for those who over rehearse as well, they're doing it by vote. And so there's no emotion coming out. And so the audience doesn't connect. Like, who's this robot flipping heck? And so they're not connecting because you don't come across authentic. An overused word, but authenticity is better than authority, shall we say, put it like that. So how do you stop being that robot? Well, you want to let the audience meet the real you, for sure. What you need to do there is just show a little bit more emotion, show a bit of vulnerability, because that's what emotion is. And if you show a bit of vulnerability, it doesn't have to be perfect, because the audience are not after perfection. They just want to meet you, the real you. So think of it like this. How would you, just before you speak, ask yourself, how would I explain this to my friend over a coffee? Because when you explain one-to-one over a coffee, it's different to how a robot does it on stage. So make it more of a conversation. Haven't got time now, but there is a great game that we can play that really opens up authenticity over authority.
Lovely. I love that idea of changing the circumstances. So you're no longer someone who's having to be an orator on stage, but that you're just an equal with a friend. And perhaps even rehearsing it with a friend over coffee might be a really nice way to do it as well. Okay, so number 3, here we go. Using story. Now, I think, you talked about authenticity being an overused word. I think story is an overused word at the moment. We're creatures of story. Humans love story. That's how we connect. It is true. Like all the cliches, it is true. It's neuroscientifically proven to allow people to engage more strongly with you and your message. It's called neural coupling. It's like a mirroring action.
And we all like a story, don't we?
We love a story.
Love a story.
Yeah.
how do people gossip, right? They turn what they've heard into a little story, don't they? And this is how we communicate through stories. So if your message on stage becomes a story, it's easier for people to take away as well and tell it to, oh, how was it? How was the conference? Oh, it's great. Let me tell you about Vic. She told this amazing thing. And it becomes easier to pass it on.
That's gorgeous. I think what we often find, don't we, Paul, is that people who are in quite a technical field, when they're having to give a talk about their, about their métier, they really can get lost in the weeds of their technical
Yeah.
terms. And so that can be really difficult, even if you understand what they're talking about, but certainly difficult if they're going and speaking to a wider audience. And so something that's really nice is to encourage yourself to explain it as though it is something for every day. So it's no
Metaphor.
longer rooted in technical terms.
Something like a metaphor.
A metaphor would be great. Yes, suddenly counterbalancing it with a story about your everyday, taking your dog for a walk or going shopping. So understanding that you have the vocabulary to be really present and connective with layman's terms, and so folding that into the technical
Yeah.
talk that
And
you're.
sometimes those metaphors as well, if you can pick the right metaphor, they can be humorous. They actually help you inject humor in as well because you're relating something technical to something metaphorical, which can be funny.
Totally lovely technique, and of course it's part of our armory, which is what we love teaching people, giving people, coaching them in at our talk tactics talks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I using a story to spark connection. Vic, you made me laugh earlier. Not unusual in that when we were waiting for something to happen, and you said, written it down. Oh, come on, let's have the cigarette that makes the bus come, and it made me laugh a lot. That thought of, oh, I'm just waiting around, but what's gonna? Oh, bloody hell, the bus has just got here. Oh,
Perfect.
love it.
Awesome. Well, Paul, always a pleasure. And see you next week at the
See
breakfast.
you next week.